Let's talk NASCAR games. So, my early days as a kid were very quiet, so to speak. But as I grew up, I started to see some some racing cars. And no, not the ones that I see in Need for Speed. And no, not from Mario Kart. Let's talk. We need to go into more of the NASCAR. Yeah, NASCAR. As a matter of fact, I actually somehow grew up on the NASCAR Cup Series or just the NASCAR game genre. Yeah, it's just to say that I actually grew up with some NASCAR games. One of the NASCAR games I actually own on is NASCAR 2006 Total Team Control from EA Sports. It's in the game. Huh, get it? it NASCAR NASCAR 2006 Total Team Control. It is a nice and decent racer, but at least it's a little bit more serious and fun with and also given the fact that it also has a pit stop up and it also sponsors various types of stuff that I like how they sponsored the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes or such and Kellogg's Corn Flakes, and also they also sponsor the UPS, and surprisingly, Total Team Control also has a few stuff that are very, in bluntly, very weird, but cool and a cool concept. At least I played something new. I also own a Leapster version of NASCAR titled just basically NASCAR Leaps. But I personally might personally call it NASCAR Leapster Edition. Yes. NASCAR actually teamed up with Leapster to create a NASCAR game for a learning system. However, it's not. However, it's completely different as it's completely devoided from other NASCAR games, i.e., where you are supposed to be solving answers, as insert math questions and such. Yeah, I remember it was a blast playing that NASCAR Leapster game on Leapster LMAX. But let's get to the topic of this video, and this is going to be a game review. I say this because this NASCAR game will be NASCAR Unleashed. I ordered this game for the 3DS from Amazon, and I just played it a few days ago. I didn't grow up with NASCAR Unleashed, but I did grow up on NASCAR 2006 Total Team Control. That was back then. I didn't get a 7th gen console. But it's to say, when I tried out the 3DS equivalent version of NASCAR Unleashed, it's fun at first, but once you are into the game, it's going to be massively chaotic once you are starting to make a few rivalries and such. And as to say, I decided to dip my toe into the NASCAR Unleashed pool, and surely enough, I actually did dip my toe into it, and surprisingly, it was much fun. So let's talk about this gameplay and see why this game was fairly unappreciated and underappreciated in both direction ways. NASCAR Unleashed is a racing game developed by Scottish developer Firebrand Games, who were responsible for creating the handheld adaptations of Dirt 2 and Grid in Need for Speed Undercover and Need for Speed Nitro as the two recent Need for Speed titles back in 2008 and 2009. They were also responsible for creating Trackmania DS. In 2010, they dipped their toes and ventured into the Nintendo Wii market with the introductions of Trackmania Wii and Hot Wheels Track Attack. which was Firebrand Games' first ever Hot Wheels game on the Nintendo DS and the Nintendo Wii. By 2011, Firebrand began working for Activision as they found their porting experience, as they found their newly good Nintendo Wii experience and such to port their upcoming brand new projects into the Wii and 7th gen consoles. Yes. 2011 would see Firebrand Games dip their toes into the 7th gen consoles. One of these 7th gen consoles was the Nintendo 3DS, with the introduction of NASCAR Unleashed. And now it's pretty interesting that 2011, that was when the Nintendo 3DS had launched. And the fact that Firebrand had ventured into the Nintendo 3DS is very interesting, to say the least. NASCAR Unleashed would be released and would be made on the 3DS version first. Yeah, the 3DS version of the game was designed and was made first, but the 3DS version has been ported over to the Wii and the next 7th gen consoles, i.e. the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Following as the previous two Wii NASCAR games, NASCAR Kart Racing and the game in 2011, and yeah, it's true. NASCAR got a kart racing game. And yes, NASCAR Kart Racing. Bizarre, completely. What is going on? And wow, that was when NASCAR has started to do an experiment to try and approach to children. Actually, maybe it's in a good attempt or not. So, at the matter of which, this is what they did. Obviously, on the Wii and 3DS versions of NASCAR Unleashed, the Wii and the 3DS only would feature 12 cars in a race, while the 7th gen PS3 and Xbox 360 versions would feature 20 cars in a race. Now, due to graphical limitations on the Wii and Nintendo 3DS, the 20 cars were cut down to 12 on the Wii and 3DS versions, as the 3DS hardware couldn't handle a higher car position density. Yeah, it's actually true. Yeah, given the fact that the 3DS cartridges couldn't hold enough of stuff, of like elements and assets, and the 3DS hardware couldn't handle higher densities and other sorts. Yeah, you gotta understand the graphical limitations on a handheld system. But why not have 20 cars onto the Wii? Oh, I forgot. Graphical limitations. It's a Nintendo game. It's a Nintendo game console as well. No surprise. Maybe it's just me. NASCAR Unleashed is an arcade racer. It's an arcade racing game, allowing players to play as 15 different drivers in the NASCAR Sprint Cup racing series, which are fan favorites, and we race around 6 different locations, including Chicagoland Speedway, Daytona Speedway International, Homestead Miami Speedway, Martinsville Speedway, and Talladega Super Speedway. A fictional track was added called Unleashed Speedway. Each location has multiple layouts with accounts for 12 different track layouts. As with the previous two NASCAR games, Kart Racing and the game 2011, the Wii version of Unleashed leverages the Wii Remote's versatility and motion controls to offer multiple control schemes. Yeah, the Wii version would still the Wii version would have multiple control schemes, just like what happened with Need for Speed Undercover, Need for Speed Nitro, and Mario Kart Wii. Unlike those games, NASCAR Unleashed would not support the GameCube controller. Boo! Why is this? Seriously, why is this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe they actually tried it before, and I believe it did not support the controller. So I understand. But honestly, some people said that using those one of the control schemes like a standard Wii controller or similar to an Xbox One are for nerds. I honestly have to disagree. Not a lot of people didn't like using the Wii remote with nunchuck. So honestly, some people has their own controller experience. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, I don't need to discuss what else. But anybody who likes to draw wants to try to, steer your car one direction or the other can also use the Wii wheel, which is usable for Need for Speed Undercover, or Hot Wheels Track Attack, Mario Kart Wii, and also Need for Speed Nitro. If NASCAR Unleashed actually supports the Wii wheel, I mean, I've seen Hot Wheels Track Attack support it, but why? But is NASCAR Unleashed? Does NASCAR Unleashed support the Wii wheel? I believe so. Oh, anyway, we the game would start with an obligatory championship Grand Prix mode. Getting started as to doing a tutorial mode on how to play this game. We get greeted by this narrator announcer who is somehow, according to some people, who is annoying to say the least. As it kind of gives me the Ridge Racer vibe. Yeah, Ridge Racer. Somehow giving us the Ridge Racer vibe. But unfortunately, some people do not like. Unfortunately, some people said it does not give him Ridge Racer vibe. He's just pure annoying. So if some people find them very annoying, they could go to the options menu and just turn down the voice announcer for so that way he won't be such of a big bother anyway. Now back to the gameplay. So the game is pretty simple, much like this. You have while you're racing, you need to avoid getting in contact with other cars. Meaning, once you start slamming and T-boning other opponents, you might start a big rivalry. If you dare to crash one of the opponent cars, you'll make rivals. So at this moment of which you may need to watch your back out there, or else. I also featured a little gameplay, which is shown on Subway Surface X Gamer. Check it out. As you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, this is footage of NASCAR Unleashed played on the 3DS. Now, this is where we start off. We get into a race, and now we have to battle against other opponents while still getting into the first place position. Now, mind me to tell you that all we have to do is to have some clean driving while still trying to be in first. You'll also be doing some challenges as well. These challenges are going to be simple. You need to do drift turns, destroy hazards, make rivals and make sure to get to a required position. If you fail to do those challenges, then you won't be rewarded with boosts. Yeah, the boost system is also part of this element. The boost system is actually pretty useful in my opinion. The boost system is actually very they're gonna be helping. It's gonna be helping out in the jam. While you're boosting and slingshotting yourself in trying to get into the lead, you'll be able to try and take out other opponents. Firebrand Games, the team who worked on this game, updated their graphics engine, 3D Octane, where the engine would be modified to accommodate car damage. Their engine was modified to accommodate car damage, and this is where we get to see that you'll be able to experience your car or other opponent getting wiped out. So at the moment of which, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to take out your opponents in this game. Similar to Burnout 3 Takedown, but with its own NASCAR flavored in it, including this. After you take out your opponents, you'll be able to make some rivals. They'll be available above the. They're gonna be once you make rivals, they're gonna be trying to take you out too. How you will know you know if the other opponents are rivals? Well, they're gonna be their signs, the signs in red will be shown above their cars. So you gotta watch your back, or else, if the rival does take you out, then this might be a perfect opportunity to take revenge on and pay them back for wiping you out. Also, you must keep an eye on your car, as it might sustain some car damage. If the engine sign on the RPM and starts blinking, you're on the verge of wiping out. So it's very recommended to try and go through the pit stops per lap. So that way you'll avoid being wiped out. That's my big suggestion. Now when I played this game, I instantly picked it up and played it like a pro, and not like a pro, and I seriously think I love the graphics. Graphics aren't that bad, but some people said it looks like it belongs to the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 1. Honestly, the PlayStation 1 or the PlayStation 2 couldn't handle this type of graphics like those. Honestly, the PlayStation 2 nor the PlayStation 1 wouldn't handle all this type of iteration of the Octane engine at all. Now, if the PlayStation 2 were to have NASCAR Unleashed, Firebrand would dip their toes into the PlayStation 2 market. Yeah, the PlayStation 2 market. Which to say, I believe they actually did this before, actually. Before they were Firebrand Games, they were previously known as DC Studios. Yeah, they actually dipped their toes into the PlayStation 2 market when they were used to be DC Studios. I believe the context, and while I was playing NASCAR Unleashed, I actually feel like that this was somehow the OG Hot Wheels Unleashed. Actually, I know it's not. I know they're not really. I know they're not. They don't have anything in common, but honestly, in my opinion, they both got something in common, and that one thing is that they're both arcade racers, and And even though they're arcade racers, I know you're saying it's not a good enough excuse for the fact that they're still not identical to each other. Besides, Hot Wheels Unleashed don't got car wrecks nor pit stops. So what? Both have something in common. Now, one thing is that they're trying to slam other opponents off the track and get wiped out, or and in some manners which they're trying, and also some which it's trying to capture the fun and excitement of racing certain NASCAR or Hot Wheels cars. Even though NASCAR Unleashed only has stock cars, at least is honestly at this point. Now look at the car models. Did NASCAR, did Activision allow this? Did Activision have Firebrand to make these certain type of next gen cars? Actually, a lot of people are saying that the car models look terrible in the game, and that they belong to somewhere else. Personally, the car models look pretty fine. I don't know for sure, but it kind of gives me some little of the NASCAR Leapster vibe to it. Don't understand. Don't understand. And I like NASCAR. I like the NASCAR video games though. I like how they're trying to capture to hardcore and to children. As accordingly for the reception of NASCAR Unleashed, the reception isn't very warm. Mixed reviews. Operation Sports rated it a 4.5 out of 10. It praised the spin on the tracks, but for everybody else's but for their opinion, this the lack of racetracks and the repetitive and also the repetitiveness and lack of online multiplayer. Yeah, the game has online multiplayer. Yeah, believing to have lack of things, which is quite odd though. Pretty, huh? PlayStation, the official magazine, gave the game a 60 out of 100 score. May not be a game for racing purists or nor hardcore racers and hardcore fans who love the NASCAR video game series. But if you're looking to introduce a stock car racing game to a child, look no further. Game Informer gave the game a 7 out of 10. They say that NASCAR Unleashed may be just another kart racer, but it's also not as foreign as a concept to the sport as you may think. Its drafting, rivalries, and car contact are certainly key aspects of the sport represented here, just not enough. Well, it's actually true. Making car contact with another rival is pretty damn fun too. You can make your own. You can make rivals there too. And what's also you need, but also you also need to have some specific skill though, and you gotta watch your back. As once you make rivals, there's no other reason to ever escape them, because once the rivals try got in contact with you, they're gonna try and take you out and wipe you out at any time. But you can try and fight back and try to keep taking them out. If you keep on slamming them and nudging them until their car damage goes too high, you'll be able to wipe them out. Yeah, you can technically force the AI to wipe out by bumping and nudging into them, and crashing them at high speeds. during championship mode, you'll be encountering some rewards, which you can use while you're racing in NASCAR Unleashed. What do I mean by rewards? Well, you can actually modify your car, actually. Yeah, turn your stock car into an actual crazy and silly little stock car with a little muscle part, crazy spoiler, and crazy exhaust tips. Tips. Yeah, these rewards can actually be unlocked by doing bonus races. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, these aren't your typical races though, but you gotta be in first place while you're still while and also try to avoid rivals out that are trying to wipe you out, and certain things. If everybody else had played the game back then when the game launched in 2011, good for you guys. I'm sure you guys know the drill as well. Oh, the premise of NASCAR Unleashed. Well, I haven't, but and when I bought the game and played it for myself on the 3DS, boy, was it very fun. But regardless of how it manifests, a lot of people still didn't like the 3DS versions because it looked very ill. While the driving physics is pretty cool here, however, some people said it's very stiff and very that's because they eased the drifting thing a little while. Honestly, why couldn't they just reuse the drift element from Need for Speed Nitro? I mean, look at Need for Speed Nitro for example. You are while you are racing other opponents, and also you are drifting pretty well. The drifting physics was very responsive for a DS game. Is pretty the drifting mechanic on Need for Speed Nitro is very responsive. That the drifting model is a great happy drifting mechanic, with having a great arcade little Mario Kart style drift in it. As once as you are mastering drifts from corners and such. I actually use the drift mechanic to try and rubber band myself into the lead. Yeah, you can actually try and rubber band yourself into the lead with the drift mechanic. Heck, yeah, pretty neat, right? Some people said it might be cheating. Hey, it's for skilled drivers, and I'm a skilled Need for Speed Nitro driver. I played this game so many times. I know what I know what I'm doing. And and if you think I'm cheating or something, and then stop it. Some people have their own advantages. I mean, a lot of skilled drivers have different advantages. What more can you want? Even though the drifting mechanic feels a little stiff in NASCAR Unleashed, it's still you still need to try and master it. Given the fact that you can try to master a good drift though. Oh, although there's only one thing plaguing and what's going on with the problem with the game is that the whole concept of only a few tracks, it feels a little bit very repetitive without some type of gameplay experience for some people. If we look at if we I know, yeah, the tracks can be a little bit repetitive. The repetitiveness follows the same trajectory as Hot Wheels Track Attack, and Hot Wheels beat that because they only got 4 different environments, while NASCAR Unleashed only has 6 locations. Why couldn't they have more locations? Oh, I don't know. Maybe they're under a contract with Activision or something. maybe Firebrand was in a contract with Activision. And alright, figures. But another big takeaway from NASCAR Unleashed is that Jesus Christ, why doesn't NASCAR Unleashed not have a track builder in their leagues? What? What? What's wrong? What? What's wrong? We need a track builder too. I mean, look at Race Driver, Create and Race, and Grid. Both both games got a track builder and editor. They even Trackmania has it. Even Hot Wheels Track Attack has it, but not NASCAR Unleashed. Wow, that really missed. That was a big missed opportunity. To be fair, this was a huge missed opportunity for the later Hot Wheels game from Firebrand. Actually, I mean, where's the intentions on not having a track editor if Firebrand and is making it anyway? We may never know. Honestly, the track editor what was supposed to be needed in it at this point because the track editor, it's so much fun and creative. A lot of people use track editors during Trackmania, even Hot Wheels Track Attack or Grid to name a few. What happens after you beat NASCAR Unleashed? Well, once you go through all the tracks, you'll be dubbed the best. I'm not sure what the ending will look like, but we'll see what. But I'll see what happens when I play the entire game on the 3DS, if I can try and survive it, because all the opponents can and just like what happened with Need for Speed Nitro and Need for Speed Undercover's DS ports, the AI rubber bands very well and hard. The AI rubber bands very hard. The AI rubber bands a lot well on the 3DS version, like in Need for Speed Nitro or Undercover, cause they are trying because they want to be in first place as well. So I suggest we better be careful and make sure to look back and look at the glimpse who is behind you and try to block their view by running in front of them. There's also some time trials and also a quick race event where we jump into a stock car and race around having fun. Honestly, the quick race mode, aka Race Now, feels very welcomed. Actually, the biggest thing about NASCAR Unleashed is that it's still in low arcade racer, or though. Yeah, it may not be. It did not boast very well for some people and a lot of players and a lot of viewers and Nintendo and PlayStation 3 and Xbox people didn't like it, but at least NASCAR at least tries something new. Actually, obviously NASCAR Unleashed is all about gaining in first place and also all about racing action and try to battle your opponents. What happened to the Race Now mode, which was implemented for NASCAR Unleashed? Well, I don't know what happened to it, but I don't know what's next. So once you complete NASCAR Unleashed, actually, you get to do whatever you want. You get to race wherever you want, whenever you want, in 6 different track locations, and making it a fast-paced arcade racer. Okay, arcade racer. I keep saying arcade racer too many times. Okay, it's not even that's a big enough word. So NASCAR Unleashed plays well, and it beats just it beats trying at least NASCAR wants to venture in more into the arcade genre with NASCAR kart racing, even NASCAR Unleashed mostly. And since it's playable on the PlayStation 3, I will get the PS3 equivalent version of the game, and because it feels like that the graphics and visuals are pretty cool and pretty more vibrant actually. So yeah. While it is pretty fun and it's pretty cool to race around six different locations, I'm not sure if you're able to try and like have fun with NASCAR Unleashed. I mean, I mean, looking at the previous NASCAR games from the previous gens from other consoles, you might be able to might encounter a lot of different different narratives to those previous games. While you're looking at NASCAR Unleashed. I mean, maybe a lot of people were like saying that NASCAR should leap in more into an experiment, but honestly, NASCAR is just being themselves. Like being just a standard NASCAR racer is fine, as NASCAR is focusing more on speed and emphasizing clean driving, while avoiding to get in contact with other drivers. But it is supposed to be like battling for first place though. After playing NASCAR Unleashed, a lot of people saying that some people saying that there's no other reason to replay it. NASCAR Unleashed is just a good little arcade racer with some charm in it, but a lot of people said it felt very repetitive. A lot of people are misjudging Firebrand games and see what they can do at this point. I mean, looking at Firebrand games as previous games in their early lifespan, they have Firebrand literally knows how to make their stuff with their graphics engine. Actually, I mean, outside of the racing game genre, their first ever game outside of the racing game genre was Crayola Treasure Adventure, which which was Firebrand Games' first ever game that's outside of the racing game genre. Actually, also over in 2008, when they made the DS adaptation of Race Driver Grid, it looked pretty fun to play though. I mean, Race Driver Grid on a DS looks very capable and much closer to its simulation racing counterpart art from the main consoles. Even the reception for the DS version is that it's pretty cool. Yes, even though the DS did not capture the same type of good success as the PC and seventh gen consoles, it is extremely welcomed. I mean, the critics like Nintendo Power gave the DS version an 8.5 out of 10, as on the game's robust car and course customization features, superb graphics, and multiplayer modes. And Europe gave the game an 8 out of 10, as IGN awarded Race Driver Grid's DS port with its DS Best Racing Game 2008 awards. I love the superior graphics on Race Driver Grid on the DS though. Wow. I mean, you must look at the previous games from Firebrand Games that they made, from Cartoon Network Racing, which is their first ever game in 2006. Then later they dipped their toes into Need for Speed, starting with Undercover. They've been improving their graphics engine a little bit, little by little. I mean, we get to the start of of Firebrand Games' rise to power, starting with Cartoon Network Racing. Then there's Race Driver Create and Race, Race Driver Grid, Trackmania, Colin McRae's Dirt 2, Planet 51 the game, to Need for Speed Nitro, then to Trackmania a Wii, to Hot Wheels Track Attack, then Disney Pixar's Cars 2 for the Nintendo DS and 3DS, then to their in-house game series called Solar Flux and its pocket counterpart. Then their later recent newer games kind of slowly but surely try to get into a higher step in the right direction to be the best ever or developer and try to be a good quality developer when possible. I mean, they're trying their hardest to be well known for their titles. After NASCAR Unleashed, though, a lot of people later start playing it, or everybody didn't like NASCAR Unleashed though. NASCAR Unleashed is supposed to be like an experiment for NASCAR to try and capture for kart racing and other arcade racer sorts. But despite the fact that much of their previous NASCAR game installments have some sort of a little arcade genre in it, but in reality, most of them are simcade or arcade racers, and so to speak. And also everybody didn't like the graphics for NASCAR Unleashed, as it looked like a PlayStation 1 game. No shit, Sherlock, cause it is a lower end N64 game on the DS or 3DS actually. And besides, if you look at their logo card or during the introductions of games from Firebrand, look at the text, powered by Octane. That's their graphics engine. And seriously, that's their graphics engine. So yeah, knowing Firebrand, they know their stuff, but people did not like their work because they said they are very terrible, they're bad, and other sorts. But they're trying their hardest to like improve their graphics and improve them to be a quality developer. And you just gotta feel bad for Firebrand actually. I mean, look at their back catalog. Knowing Firebrand, who did no fault of their own, they're trying their hardest to try and make good games. But in reality, a lot of people didn't like them. The only good game that's outside of Firebrand was Need for Speed Nitro, which Need for Speed Nitro on the Nintendo DS was the best racing game on the DS when possible, compared to its Wii version counterpart, though. So yeah. Once Firebrand stepped into the NASCAR market, they made NASCAR Unleashed, and later a lot of people didn't like it and was mixed and average reviews. And it breaks my heart though. What remained of Firebrand games, they would continue to make and pump out various games like Disney Pixar's Cars 2, Need for Speed The Run, Fast and Furious Showdown, and their kin projects. But by 2017, despite NASCAR Unleashed's average and mixed reception, they got another crack at the NASCAR franchise nearly 6 years later, which was NASCAR Heat Mobile. Nobody doesn't even know that it was made by Firebrand, but I'm just going to tell you that NASCAR Heat Mobile was produced by Firebrand at this point. Yeah, but this remained a mystery. Did they improve their Octane engine actually? Did they improve their graphics engine at this point? Did they? Did they really? I think they did. And looking at and looking at some videos focusing on NASCAR Heat Mobile. Where's the reception for the game though? Mixed, average, or bad? I don't know. So seem so it seems that Firebrand it seems that Firebrand actually updated their Octane engine again for NASCAR Heat Mobile for this at this point. So yeah, I think they did. What a surprise. Neat. Thank you guys all sincerely for watching. And what do I think about NASCAR Unleashed in the end? I say 7 out of 10. Not perfect, and despite its flaws, it's still a low arcade racer with a little bit of charm. And I say the game is very underappreciated and unappreciated at the same time. So at least I tried something different, especially coming from NASCAR. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.